everyone, welcome back. Today I have another exciting video for you, another exciting comparison. I'm having a lot of fun doing these comparisons. So today's comparison is going to be between the Roxa palette and the Love palette. I feel like a lot of people were thinking about the Love palette. Not a whole lot of people were thinking of Huda Beauty's Rose Quartz, but I did that comparison as well in another video. But most people were thinking about the Love palette. So today I have the Love palette on one side and Roxa on the other. Can you guess which one is which? I'm going to give you a few seconds to look at it. Which side is Roxa? Did you guess? This one. So I'm actually going to show you which shades I use from Roxa versus the Love palette to create this look. I don't think this look looks that similar. I feel like the similarity in looks was more so with the Roxa versus Rose Quartz. I feel like these came out a little bit different. All right, let's get started and I will give you my final thoughts and also give you some more swatch comparisons. Today I'm going to do Roxa palette on one eye and then the Love palette on the other. And let's see how similar the looks come out. I'm excited. Let's get started. So I'm going to start off with Heather from the Roxa palette. All right, I'm going to clean my brush a little bit and then go in with, or should I use a different brush? I think it's pretty clean. I'm gonna go in with Soul from the Love palette. I love deep diving into palettes. That is where I find the most joy with makeup, is actually deep diving into a palette and getting to know it. I'm gonna go in with that dark purple shade, Jacaranda. I'm gonna put that in the outer V. This is applying pretty nicely. Easy peasy. I'm gonna go in with Dream from the Love palette. Dream looks very creamy. I hope you can see it on the eyes because my brush that I used is very fluffy, and because Dream looks really creamy, I'm afraid that it's not gonna show up or pick up the shadow. I mean, I don't see anything wrong with Dream. It's applying fine. I actually want to take Trust and also apply that a little bit. For the Natasha Denona side, I'm going to take Regal. You want to use this purple shimmer from Roxa called Bold to kind of bring together the two colors here, kind of right in the center to blend them into each other. And you don't really have that in the Love palette. How beautiful that blend looks with that purple in the center. I don't have that for the Love palette. I think I'm going to use Transparent right here. Transparent, I feel like, is not as sparkly as the shades from the new palette. Use Pure Love from the Love palette in the center because I need something there. Yeah, so the shimmers in the Love palette are not that sparkly as the shimmers in the Roxa palette. Let's do Cerise. This shade called Heartbeat. From the Love palette, I don't really see it to be that similar. I'm actually gonna mix Pure Love and Giving together. I'm just going to use a damp brush to bring the shade that I put in the inner part of the eye into the inner corner in a more impactful way. All right, so here is the finished look. I feel like the Roxa side, which is this side, looks more beautiful. It looks more vibrant. It just looks more high quality. Whereas the Love palette side, it doesn't even look like luxury eyeshadow. It looks like a bad drugstore formula. So definitely a huge difference in formula with the Love palette compared to the Roxa palette. And my Love palette is not super old. It's not from the original release. I bought it later on, so it's probably just a couple of years old. So here are swatch comparisons between the two palettes. The first one is Dixie from the Roxa palette. Nothing really comparable in the Love palette, but I did put the silver from the Love palette here. This one is actually looking pretty. And then the purple is darker from Roxa and it's a little bit lighter from the Love palette, but pretty similar. Next one is pretty light shimmer as well. Couldn't find anything in the Love palette. Got a darker shimmer from the Love palette. And then here is a lilac shade, nothing matching that. And I ended up just putting the cream shade from the Love palette. Couldn't find anything for the next one either. And then the darker purple, here is the darkest purple and the sort of cool tone brown from the Love palette. Silvery light purple shimmer, nothing like that in the Love palette. Nothing like this purple shimmer from the Roxa palette. And then here are like the pinky tones. This one looks, I mean, you could find some similarities there overall. If I do this. And then my arm looks so weird, but nothing really from the last row from Roxa. With all those lilac and purple shades, nothing really there either. So the only similarities that I found were the darker purple shades and maybe a little bit of like pinky shades here. And maybe some similar vibes here with those dark, cool purple shades here. So I guess some similarities are there. My final thoughts on the comparison, I feel like Love palette and Roxa are very different. Number one, the formula in Love palette is not that great compared to Roxa, especially the shimmer shades. And I feel like the color story is not that similar either. Here are the palettes side by side. I think you can pretty clearly see, like they're very different from each other than that purple shade and that sort of pinky peachy shade. Everything else is pretty different. I don't see that much purple in the Love palette. I feel like if you have the Love palette and you love Natasha Denona, you are safe to get the Roxa palette. But as you saw in my very first video, there were a lot of similarities between the pastel palette and the Roxa palette. So if you have pastel plus the Love palette, then you'll find a good chunk of similarities with Roxa. So this was a quick video. I just wanted to see how these two palettes compare with each other. And I hope this was fun for you guys as well and you found it helpful. And if you did, make sure you hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell notification. Thank you. Bye.